What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is the JR Wisdom channel. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Today I'm gonna be talking about a interview that Wale did on the Breakfast Club. It might have been yesterday, whenever he did it. But I'm just gonna talk about it real quick because I know he touched on some pretty important stuff, which primarily is issues that a lot of us deal with: self-consciousness, not feeling good enough, being an introvert, things like that, and how it affects or can take effect with daily life. And he spoke on about having PTSD from the industry that he's in, and a lot of us deal with PTSD and we don't even know. So one of the biggest things, because the way the interview was set up, it was almost as if for the most part they were making fun of him or attacking him during the video from what I seen. And Envy on there, he was calling him a weirdo, which I think is the stupidest thing ever. When somebody calls an introvert a weirdo, which is obviously a subjective term, but you call somebody a weirdo because they go to a club by themselves and just hanging out by themselves, or which was what he called his definition. Which in my opinion, I think Envy's corny anyway. Matter of fact, the whole Breakfast Club is corny for the most part. I mean, Charlemagne asked good questions, but that's neither here nor there. But he called him a weirdo because he saw him at a club and he was by himself. I mean, are you supposed to go? And his answer to that, which was a good answer, was I'm coming by myself and I'm trying to go home with something by myself. It is what it is at the end of the day. As a man, especially, why are you going someplace with a bunch of dudes anyway? You should be going by yourself. But anyway, he got defensive, as he should have, uh, to an extent, to basically say, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo for thinking I'm weird because I choose to stay to myself and I don't need to feel secure by being with other people or having other people with me. I mean, that's the definition to me of being free and secure, is being able to go somewhere or enjoy your own time without having to rely. And a lot of people cheat themselves out of a good time, a good experience, going places, trying different foods, because they need the approval of someone else, or someone else to say that it's good or it's something to do, instead of exploring on their own, robbing yourself of your own individuality. So in the interview, and like I said, I'll link it if you haven't seen it. In the interview, he goes on to talk about things that I've experienced and maybe a lot of you have experienced, which is anxiety. He says that he mentioned him getting anxiety for people having preconceived notions about him before he even meets them. Which a lot of us deal with. That's things that I deal with. Even at the end of the day, I can say that I don't care what people think about me, but I do have sort of an anxiety when it comes to meeting people. And uh, you know, if you're saying things right, because he mentioned something also about everybody thinking you're an asshole, or everybody thinking you're not a nice person, or or not everybody thinking that, but he just trying to combat that by presenting something other than what he is. And he has a methodical step system in his mind that he goes through. He meets people, saying, okay, eye contact, smile, um, address the person properly, so on and so forth, to make sure you're not coming across as an asshole. Which is some things for people like him and like me that I consciously have to be aware of, because I have a face that is not very welcoming, and that's just the way I look. So it's just things that a lot of us have to deal with, or some people just are natural at it and they've been doing it all their lives. But yeah, being self-conscious of yourself is redundant. Be self-conscious of this situation, and just trying to present yourself as a good person or a better person or an approachable person, which some of you may call being fake, but it's just one of those things that we call people skills, working on your people skills and social skills, which a lot of introverts like myself, tend to not have, so to speak, unless you're in an intimate relationship. And once again, like I say, intimate doesn't necessarily mean sexual. Intimate being a close relationship that you have with someone, you have a hard time making friends, or you may have a hard time making friends, or if you're doing the right thing, which is some of the things that he spoke about. He spoke about he spoke about that. Somebody's pulling in front of me. Making friends, so on and so forth, and body dysmorphia. He talked about, which a lot of these things, the way the internet, the way the world is set up, society is set up, being so judgmental, and people changing the way they view themselves based upon those on the outside, instead of doing it to make doing it because they want to do it, not to necessarily make themselves feel better. Because obviously, by people changing things, having surgeries, things like that, sometimes it is to make themselves feel better by showing it, by showing off for other people, by hoping other people like it. And folks will go to the end of the earth, is what he was kind of hinting at. And all in all, I think it's a very important thing that he spoke of. A lot of people are too cool to speak on it, or a lot of these people in entertainment and hip hop, so on and so forth. But a lot of these people are also need things to overcome their anxiety, medicine, drugs, which medicine is drugs at the end of the day. Taking something to overcome that, overcome this anxiety, overcome this shyness, overcome, just dealing with the world on a daily basis. So my thing is, how do we end up here? How do we get to this point? Is it self-inflicted or not self-inflicted? Is this something that we overthink? I'm an overthinker, and a lot of the things, just being out and about, you can't you just looking at a person, for the most part, you never know what people have going on. You don't know how they're really feeling inside outward. Someone may seem like one person, but they're a completely different person inside, or they're thinking completely different thoughts inside, and probably completely losing it inside, and things like that. So some of the statements that were made by Charlemagne and Envy is something that it kind of pushes people further away, and it proves the point. And that's kind of like what he was saying. It proves the point of why you are the way you are, because people are assholes. You know what I'm saying? And these are just my thoughts. I think Charlemagne, even on the video, I mean, even on the interview, he was trying to he was putting this guy's business out about him having a panic attack somewhere, and this was something that was not saying it's supposed to be between those two, but he had knowledge of it, and he decided to put it on the airwaves in front of everybody without putting this guy on the spot, his business out, which was really messed up in my opinion, because you could tell he didn't want to talk about it, because obviously he turned his back to him and tried to change the subject. But it's for somebody who advocates mental wealth and mental well-being, you're going to put somebody on the spot to do that. I don't think that's cool. I just wanted to make this video to say, if you are an introvert, or if you are self-conscious about your situation, it's looking, people say it's easier said than done, but looking within on this and knowing who you are at the end of the day. And I think that's one thing that many people fight with in life, is just discovering or knowing who they are. And if you don't know who you are, you can morph or be turned into what other people feel like you should be, or they'll project what you should be, and you'll take that and run with it and think that's how you're actually supposed to be, instead of knowing who you are. Once you know who you are, nobody can do that to you. Nobody can change the way you feel about yourself. That's what we all should aspire to in life, as far as knowing what it is that we want and knowing who we are at the end of the day. You know, whether you're an introvert, you can be an introvert and know who you are. You can be an extrovert and know who you are. As long as you know who you are, that security you got, you know, it'll always be there. So, with that being said, I just wanted to, express my thoughts on that video I saw. I want you guys to check it out. Let me know your thoughts on it, or if any of you guys are dealing with stuff like that, self-consciousness and body dysmorphia and things like that. We all have these issues. I don't care how pretty someone is, how beautiful, how handsome someone is. It's something that they don't like about themselves, and some people will see themselves different than someone else. But it's just you coming to terms and being secure and loving yourself and not worrying about what somebody else has to say, because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. At the end of the day, nobody is paying your bills. If nobody has any direct, even if you live with your parents, husband, wife, and they're putting you down, I mean, this is something, like I said, you have to know who you are at the end of the day. And once you know who you are and you're secure, you have the confidence to be able to move on and do as you see fit in life, even if it means leaving that person, not dealing with family members, not dealing with a certain person anymore. Because some people, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're being abused, and it's abusive to hear these things. And if you are being verbally abused by someone, then that person is not your friend, that person is not your family, and you need to bring that peace to your life where you don't have to deal with that. So sorry if I'm too long-winded, but like I said, I just wanted to talk about that and say there's nothing wrong with being an introvert. And you can't, it's easier said than done, but you can't let what people say get to you, especially if they don't have any direct contributions in your life. And you'll know what type of person by the negativity that they come across, that they bring to you and bring into your life. So eliminate yourself from that situation. You deserve better. With that being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts below. Peace be upon you in the mercy and blessings of the Almighty, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.